Hello, I'm Joe. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the review of 2023 of my life and all the insights that I gained, all the lessons that I learned, and just maybe do a little recap and see what I can take with me for this year. So, if you don't know me, I am Joanna. I'm from Portugal and I'm living in the UK for the past almost 6 years. And I've been working as a biomedical scientist. And I'm also a coach, a life coach. I focus on abundance, inner peace, and just releasing those limiting beliefs that keeps us stuck, that gives us burnout, that just gives us so much anxiety that we can't really feel like we're moving on with our lives. We're just feeling stuck. And that's how I have been feeling a little bit throughout 2023, even though it has been an amazing year of great change in my life. So the year started very normally with me continue to do my coaching sessions with my clients. But then in May, the platform that I'm working with said that I needed to do some more further studies to become certified with the International Coaching Federation. And at the time, I didn't feel like doing that because it was going to cost a lot of money, it was going to cost me a lot of time and effort to complete that certification. And I already had so many. I'm a master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming. I have so many courses that I've done and so much that I've studied that I said, you know what, I don't feel like I need to continue to do this only to be on this platform. But that meant that I had to leave the platform, and from May, I didn't have an income from my coaching because I didn't have, at the time, I didn't have private clients. And so May was also a month where I went to Arizona to meet my boyfriend's family. I had a blast. It was just amazing. I loved Arizona. I loved going to Grand Canyon, and Sedona was such a good energy place. Well, I don't know if it was a good energy, but it was definitely an energy place because the day that I got there, even though we were at this beautiful hotel with the most beautiful view to the mountains, with an amazing swimming pool, I was just crying. And I was not about to be on my period or anything. So I don't know what that was about. So maybe it was just a release of energy from the vortex that they say Sedona has. But I wasn't particularly sad, but I was definitely releasing something. So that was amazing trip. I loved every moment of it, even though I was just feeling very ill because the atmosphere there is very dry and very different from the UK. That is very humid, and the weather is just totally different. So I really enjoyed going there. I loved every minute. Then I got back, and the minute I got back to work, I just felt that dread. And mind you, I have been feeling the dread of returning from holiday many times before. This is something that just showed me that my job was completely out of alignment with the way that I wanted to have my life. And basically, I got back and it was immediate. You know, when sometimes you get back and like you have maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month where you're still relaxed from the holiday and you're still in your mind thinking of all of the moments that you've been through in that holiday, and you're whatever stresses you out at work, it's not so stressful because you're just in that vibe of still holiday, right? But to me, it was instant. I got back and I felt the dread. I felt like my life needed to change. I felt like a complete depression, um, just right off the bat. And I said, you know what? I have been thinking that this profession is not for me for a long time. Mind you, this profession, when I started to study it in university, we had to do phlebotomy work, meaning that we had to draw people's bloods. That was our initial task. That's how you got into the profession, really. So you needed to learn that in school, and thank God we did, because I turned out to be really good. But I was someone that in my childhood, teenage years, I would collapse if I saw blood. I would literally faint if I saw blood. And so for me to start a course, start a degree in something that I was surrounded by blood all the time, I was always smelling that blood, I was drawing people's blood. Right off the bat, I said, oh, I don't know if this is for me, but I kept on going because I felt like I didn't have any options. Even though I did, I could have just transferred to the course that I actually enjoyed. But at the time, I didn't, because I said, maybe it will get better. And that has been something that I've been using in my life a long time. Maybe it will get better, but it never does. So it's been settling. I have settled for so many things, and now it's time to stop settling because I'm tired of settling. So yeah, I settled for that course. It was good. I learned a lot. I'm very grateful for that degree that allowed me to be here. Even speaking English, I wouldn't be speaking this level of English if I hadn't studied that degree, if it hadn't pushed me into moving countries and me being here in the UK and becoming a native speaker. Well, not even native, a fluent speaker of English, right? So it's just, I'm grateful for that situation. So then I came here. Yeah, but we're not talking about my whole life. We're just talking about my year. Yes, I decided that I needed to do something about my job. I was already part time, meaning that I was already working only 4 days per week, longer days, but just 4 days. I had my Fridays off, and that's the time that I would just do my laundry or relax for a little bit before the weekend actually came, and I spent time with my boyfriend. Then, more towards summertime, I went to, it was July, I think. I went to Tony Robbins' event, Unleash the Power Within. That was amazing. I learned so much about myself. I healed so much that was going on within me. But before that, I think it was June. It must have been June or beginning of July, actually. I can't remember right now. I actually gave my notice to my job. And I actually told them I quit. I don't feel like this is for me long term. And I just want to pick up some bank shifts, meaning that I can just work whenever I want to. And I don't have to be bound by a contract, right? So that's what I did. I quit. I needed to give them 2 months. So I still had to work for 2 months, and it was just a nightmare for me. I was extremely misaligned with everything. I was just so stressed. And then I went to that event. That was amazing. Met amazing people, learned so much about me, so many amazing techniques. But then the minute I got back, my boyfriend broke up with me. So that was in itself a very troubled time in my life. I was dealing with burnout. I was dealing with a breakup that I was not expecting, that was just coming out of the blue, that actually just completely shattered my heart, made me lose complete trust in myself, that I didn't see the signs in other people that they could just hurt me like that. So it was extremely difficult for me. And I went through stages of depression, of anger, of anxiety, of so many things. And I isolated myself a lot. I spent a lot of time at home, not hanging out with anyone really. That was friends. But then I started to date, and I started to, I think in a way it was that instant gratification, that instant validation from others. But I needed to go through that because I learned a lot along the way as well. But in itself, it wasn't good because it not broke my heart, because it was already so shattered that I was just like, yeah, it hurts, but whatever. It's just that situation of not having that unconditional love and that constant love flow from a romantic partner, because my family was still there to support me, my friends were there to support me. But a lot of people didn't understand, or maybe that's how I felt. They didn't understand what I was doing, because I was quitting my job from a very good, on paper, it was a very good job. It was in my profession that I've studied so hard. I was progressing. Yeah, maybe slower than what I could have in other parts of this country, but I was still progressing. I was given the support from my department. My management team was supporting me in everything that I asked them. I liked the team that I was working with. So everything on paper, it was completely crazy to do. But I said to myself, oh, and another thing is that I kept saying, so I used to work with my ex from another time, like last year, 2022. So I used to work with him. So every time I would see my past, and I would see him with his new girlfriend that also worked with us. So every time, even though I was past all of that, and I made the decision to break up that relationship actually, even though all of that happened, it was almost like I can never let go of the past, because it's always there, like literally right in front of my eyes. And it's a constant reminder of having to sell my house, having to go through all that heartache that I went through with a breakup. So it was just constant reminder of the past. It was exhausting. All of that, with together with the fact that I wasn't happy with my job. I wasn't, and this for many years. But before, I had a mortgage, so I couldn't really stop just working and live off coaching. Even though coaching at that time was giving me quite a lot of money, sometimes it was giving me more money than actual doing my day job. But that was not something that seemed responsible. And now I was completely alone, like single. I didn't have anyone depending on me. Just needed to pay the rent and pay my bills. And I got some money from the sale of the house. So I said to myself, this is the perfect moment to actually quit, live off my savings for a little bit, pick up some shifts to get some extra cash to pay the bills, continue to focus on my coaching career. And because that is what truly lights me up, working with people, helping people, listening to their struggles and mirror back to them ways that they sometimes don't even recognize that it is possible for them to create more choice and empower themselves more. That is what truly lights my soul. And teaching and helping, educating, and being surrounded by people, and that energy of personal development, that is what truly lights me up. And not just being surrounded by people and machines and sounds and stress and hustle, and let's go, we need to work faster, and we need to work better, so it's all of that pressure that didn't seem aligned with my values. And some aspects of the actual work itself I didn't love. I just did them, and I was good at them. I still am, still do them. But now I get to decide when, how long, and if I do it. So that has been a major shift, because that is my values. My values are freedom. And this is something that can be triggering for so many people, because you have stability that can also be one of your values, and then you have freedom, and that is a very conflicting value with stability. But in this point of my life, that I don't have any children, that I don't have any real thing that stops me from taking a leap, I said, I value freedom more than I value stability at this point. Because I also have security nets. And mind you, I'm talking from a place of privilege. I'm talking from a place of, I have safety nets in place. I have my savings. Even if my savings, I use up all of my savings, that I wouldn't, never, I'm not that irresponsible. I would still have a support group that would be able to help me. My parents, I'm sure, would never deny me any help. even though sometimes they would expect me or they would like me to be more responsible or maybe make other decisions in life, they still get that I was extremely unhappy and this is what I needed to do for my life. So I did it. And then, so it was really tough being just single at the time, unemployed by choice. So I took September off. Um, yeah, I took September off. I went to Portugal. I just relaxed for a bit. And then when I came back, I was still missing my ex a lot, a lot. The ex that broke up with me. Um, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to reach out. I reached out because he had already reached out before. But I said, I'm happy now, even though I probably wasn't, but you know how it goes. I reached out and we reconnected. We got back together. And then he actually had to go away for another country. So now we have a long distance relationship. That in itself has been something that I'm learning about, that I've never thought that I would be able to do it. But I think it has been easier than I actually thought it was going to be, because I am someone that enjoys to have my own space, my own moments, and just do whatever I want to do and not have to just say anything to anyone, or you know what I mean? Just not have to share my space and my energy with anyone at all times. So that has been interesting, definitely very learning a lot about myself, about relationships, about love languages, how to keep loving someone and how to make sure that our needs, my needs, his needs are met throughout this time that we're together and away. So that has been a learning curve. And in my profession up as a coach, I eventually did my certification with the International Coaching Federation. So I'm now fully credentialed. It took me, I don't know, maybe 3 months, 4 months maximum. I did it. It's done. I passed the exam that took me 3 hours to do. It was challenging, nerve wracking, actually difficult. I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I created an ebook that I'm so proud of. I've done so many things. I met such amazing people that supported my journey, my coaching journey. But I still sometimes feel like I have a lot of self doubt. There are some days, especially the gloomy days like today, I had to turn on all my lights, and I don't even know if that's enough lights because it's so gloomy right now. And I feel like this really affects my internal clock when it comes to it's time to wake up, it's time to be vibrant, and it really affects it. And my creativity goes down a lot when it's gloomy like this. So, and I am someone that I have been used to hustle, 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 and just that's the way it is. My parents um, always have to work hard to provide for the family, and I'm sure that a lot of people feel that way and have been raised that way as well. Money doesn't grow from the trees, and I'm not made of money, and we need sometimes to do something that we don't really like in order to continue our lives and have money to survive. So that's the idea that I have been raised with, and to me it feels like I need to work hard to receive. And that is a limiting belief that many people have around money. And it's always something that needs to be deconstructed and needs to be resolved and needs to be processed and challenged, constantly challenged. Because there are times now in my life that I'm actually getting money without doing anything. Sometimes I have a client that misses the session and I'm still getting paid. So I'm literally sat in the sofa and I'm getting paid. And that is something that I haven't yet fully allowed. And that's why I think I haven't yet been able to fully live off coaching, because it's all mindset where I haven't allowed that abundance to come easily and effortlessly doing something that I love. It feels shameful almost to receive money from what I love and what comes easy for me. Because when I worked in my day job, I was getting paid quite a lot of money for the standards in the UK for maybe someone of my age, but I felt like it wasn't enough because I was working so hard and I not hated every minute, but I certainly didn't like many minutes of it. And that's why I deserved it, because I was putting in the effort and I was just experiencing that um ooh, yeah. So I was experiencing that struggle, and that hustle culture. And when I actually let go of that, well, I'm still letting go. I'm still learning how to let go of that belief. And yeah, now to just be able to go for a walk in the morning, do some stretching exercises, do some yoga, go to the gym, have some sessions here and there, and work on creating content for social media, work on what truly lights me up. It doesn't feel real and it doesn't feel like I'm putting in the effort that I need to be in order to be deserving of this money. But yeah, so these are some of the insights that I've been having this year. But in all truth and honestly, I finished the year living the life that I've journaled so long. I went back to my journals maybe like 2 years ago, and I would write my ideal day. I would really journal and script my ideal day. And I am living my ideal day right now. I wake up whatever time I want. I do whatever I want throughout the day. I'm able to cook whenever and however often I want. I'm able to do laundry and just listen to my podcast and not think, oh my God, I just need to do this because I have no clean clothes for tomorrow. No, I get to do it because I have the time and I have the energy, and I'm feeling at peace because I don't feel the pressure of having to do something that I don't like. At the same time, I'm self pressuring myself when I say, no, I need to work, I don't know, 10 hours in the computer. I need to create more things. I need to reach out to clients. I need to do this and this and that. And I think that is just a way that I learned how to work. It's not real. It doesn't have to be that way, because if it was to be like the way, what's the point of me having to quit, and might as well just stayed in my job and deal with the responsibilities that I had there. So it's really surrendering, and it's so difficult to surrender sometimes. But it's surrendering and understanding that self doubt will always be there, no matter if you're an employee or an employer or a self employed person. You'll always have some sort of self doubt. And right now, I'm just so grateful to have my boyfriend that's supporting me. And every time I tell him, I'm feeling a little bit low today, I feel like I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this out of my career and live off of this. And I feel all of this self doubt. He's always there. It takes time. It takes some it just takes time to establish yourself. It takes time to become used to it. And he's always there to just give me some encouraging words, and he believes in me. And I believe in myself most days. It's just maybe like 5 days of the month that I don't believe in myself. And I say that's because of hormones. But yeah, it's a constant work of self belief, self trust, and trust the vision, because I know how my body feels when I am helping people, and how I see that as my vision and how I want my life to be, and to be able to carve my own path, because I feel like a lot of the reasons that I have been dimming my light is truly to become, not become because I already am, but to continue to be relatable to my peers, because my peer group, everyone is employee, and Everyone is really having the same lifestyle that I used to have and that I have been having throughout my whole life. But the thing is, if I want to grow and if I want to experience new things, I need to maybe choose a different peer group. And not to say that I need to remove people from my life, that's not it. But that peer group of inspirational people that I'm trying to emulate, or that I'm trying to be like them, or actually becoming like them. And so that is really a choice of choosing new peer group, and yeah, really have the courage to be different from your friends, from your family. Have the courage to not be understood for a while, because then when you actually succeed and have the results to show up for yourself, everyone will be like, oh, yeah, I had no doubt that you could do it. Oh my God, teach me how to do it as well. But when you're in the process, when you're in the journey, everyone kind of has their own doubts, as you have as well, as I have as well. So I'm in that journey, but I took a massive leap of actually quitting and actually experiencing a completely new lifestyle for myself. I took the leap to reach out to my boyfriend and say that I miss him, say that I want to be with him, and reach out and took the leap to actually continue a long distance relationship. And yeah, just creating that abundance in my mind of allowing things to come to me with inspired action and not hustle culture. That I think was the major takeaway for me for 2023, that I can trust myself. And it's not just looking forward, but it's also looking back at what I've achieved and what I have conquered and what I have been through and what I've processed and released and all of that. So that was my year. I'm sure 2024 will be an amazing year. Even in the not so amazing parts of the year, I will still learn something about it. And I hope you'll be here with me as I go along. I'll see you next time. Bye.